chewed into my survival food, and I now have to go through everything and like figure out what is less survivable.
I'm rooting for the undermouth.
Whenever you're ready, Harvey. It's 11. Okay, you good? Hello, good morning. I'm Paulo. I will be your leader for meditation this morning. Why don't we start with our aspiration, refuge, and bodhicitta, and then I'll talk a little bit about our meditation. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space of eyes, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. In three real jewels, three rude blissful ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, these bodhi mind, essence, nature, moving love, mandal, until full bodhi I seek refuge. In three real jewels, three rude bliss-filled ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, this bodhi mind, essence, nature, moving love, mandal, until full bodhi I seek refuge. In three real jewels, three rude bliss-filled ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, this bodhi mind, essence, nature, moving love, mandal, until full bodhi I seek refuge. Oh, like moons in water, sights deceive us, we ever roam bound in cyclic chains, so all may rest in their clear mind sphere. I raise bodhi through four boundless states. Oh, like moons in water, sights deceive us, we ever roam bound in cyclic chains, so all may rest in their clear mind sphere. I raise bodhi through four boundless states. So this morning we'll do two main meditations. The first one will be focused on our breath, um, and our breath and the supports that support our ability to focus on our breath, which are earth, our skeletal structure, and our central channel. And I'll lead you through a little bit what that feels like, so you can tap into it yourself. And then we'll take about in between. We'll do a couple of breaks and we'll chant the syllable hum for about 2 minutes, which is an expression of wisdom. In particular, the syllable hum chanting is a practice that Anne received from her teacher in Tibet, some Trungpa. When asked, she asked for something that would be very easily accessible and yet very, very profound, regardless of how long you've been practicing, like whether you've been practicing 20 years or you've been just started. The Hung practice is something that's very accessible and yet very profound. So I invite you to just remain curious while we do that. And then, the breath practice in general is a very just traditional way of meditation. So we're using really meditation in this context is about paying attention to an object for a prolonged period of time. And inevitably you're going to lose your attention, and it's just coming back over and over again to that particular object in meditation. In this case, we're using our breath. Breath is a really neat object of meditation because it's always with us, right? We carry it as long as we have a human body. We have breath, and both our breath and our human bodies are always here and now, right? Our mind might be in the future, in the past, somewhere totally unknown, but our bodies are always here. So by tapping into our breath, it's a gate into the present moment. And I think in itself, that's pretty profound. Well, I'll stop pontificating and we can get to meditating. So finding a comfortable seat, right? If you're sitting on a meditation cushion, moving back and forth, and finding a place where your sits bones are about evenly distributing your weight on your meditation cushion. If you're sitting on a chair, making sure that both your feet are planted in the ground evenly, and you don't want to totally be resting on the back of your seat, but you want to find the same type of very small amount of effort into standing up straight. From that foundation of your sits bones touching your seat, you can feel your vertebra stacking on each other, a little bit like coins would stack. And if you feel through your whole spine, it's becoming straight at your cervical spine, that meaning your neck, tucking your chin ever so slightly. It's like there's a string on the top of your head, and that's keeping your cervical spine in alignment with the rest of the spine. This is helpful just from a ergonomic standpoint, and it allows the electromagnetic waves flowing through your spine to flow a little bit with more ease. And just find your breath into your belly. Noticing if there's some excess tension that's built up over the week or month or however long. Noticing your shoulders are tense. And as you exhale, letting your shoulders fall away from your ears. Letting your teeth, your upper and lower teeth are no longer touching. They're relaxing away from each other. You're relaxing your jaw, letting go of your belly. And then finding a place that's compelling to feel your breath. Maybe it's at the tip of your tongue, or your tip of your nose. Maybe it's just your lungs expanding and contracting. Maybe you follow your breath all the way to your do, which is the root of your central channel, which exists 4 finger widths down from your navel and four fingers widths in. There's no right answer, just finding a place where it's easy for you to find your breath and focusing on that. And feeling into 3 pillars of support. We start with feeling into Earth, Mother Earth, who supports us unconditionally. Noticing how you're just sitting here without any expectation, being embraced by Earth's gravitational pull. She protects us with her magnetic field from nasty radiation externally. There's nothing expected. We're just supported here and now. The next pillar is our skeletal structure, feeling how our bones, our tendons, our muscles hold us here, allowing us to sit, feeling supported by your own body. Going to the third pillar, it's our central channel. It starts in the do, 4 fingers widths down from your navel and 4 fingers widths in, and it travels straight in front of our spine to the top of our heads. Traditionally, in yogi traditions, this is where your consciousness abides. So it's allowing us to be conscious here now and supporting our ability to pay attention. Feeling supported by his three pillars. As we lose our attention from our breath, just gently nudge it back into wherever it is that you find your breath. It is normal to be distracted by thoughts of the future or the past. Just noticing that is happening, not judging, not fighting them, just nudging your attention back to your breath. We'll chant hung, about 2 hungs per breath. Staying curious with experiencing your body and your mind. As that experience subsides, bringing your attention back to your breath. Feeling into the 3 pillars of support, reestablishing that feeling of being supported by our earth, our skeletal structure, and our central channel. As thought arise, not trying to chase after them or push them away. This only proliferates thoughts more. Kind of being like an owner who lets a dog run in a field, letting your thoughts just run away, and you just bring your attention back to your breath. And we'll chant home again. As the experience subsides, gently bring your attention back to your breath, whether it's at the tip of your nose, your lungs extracting and expanding and contracting, or your dough, the root of your belly, 4 fingers width in from your navel and 4 fingers width down. Noticing if any additional tension has crept into your body. Taking a deep breath, starting from the bottom of your belly, expanding through your rib cage, topping off at your shoulders, and as you exhale, just letting it go. Letting your shoulders fall away from your ears. Allowing for some space between your teeth. Relaxing your jawline, relaxing your eyes. And allowing your attention to be here now with your breath. If you're feeling either particularly dull or particularly hyperactive in your mind, you might take a deep breath and then exhale through your mouth, letting go of cobwebs. We're letting go of our anxiety and our hyperactivity. And allowing yourself to take full breaths into your belly, expanding through your lungs and rib cage, topping off at the top of your shoulder blades, shoulder bones. As we breathe in, inviting wakeful, stable attention. As we breathe out, letting go of whatever is distracting us. And we'll chant home one more time. And bring your attention back to your breath, wherever you might find it. If you haven't been thus far, I invite you to try meditating with your eyes open for this next few minutes. In our tradition, we meditate with our eyes open as a symbol that we're not meditating to run away from the world, but to better engage it and to be more present here and now. So if you're comfortable with that, I invite you to try it out. So there's a book going around, the Book of Names going around. Traditionally, we dedicate our merit to all sentient beings, but in particular, we write names of those who might need an extra bit of help right now, whether you might have just passed away or are sickly or are embarking a transition in their life. It could be yourself, it could be a loved one, it really could be anybody that you would like to share your merit with. So watch out for that. And then I'm going to share a chapter from this wonderful book by Pema Chodron, Comfortable with Uncertainty. Today's chapter, so this book is a compendium of short chapters, about a page each, with some words of advice from her. Today's chapter is page 74, chapter 67. It's called 6 Ways of Compassionate Living. There are 6 traditional activities in which the Bodhisattva trains. 6 ways of compassionate living: generosity, discipline, patience, joyful exertion, meditation, and prajna. Unconditional wisdom. That's what prajna means. Traditionally, these are called the paramitas, a Sanskrit word meaning gone to the other shore. Each one is an activity we can use to take us beyond aversion and attachment, beyond being all caught up in ourselves, beyond our illusion of separateness. Each paramita has the ability to take us beyond our fear of letting go. Through paramita training, we learn to be comfortable with uncertainty. Going to the other shore has a groundless quality, a sense of being caught in the middle, being caught in the in-between state. It is easy to regard the paramitas as rigid codes of ethics, a list of rules. But the warrior bodhisattva's world is not that simple. The power of these activities is not that they are commandments, but that they challenge our ability, our habitual reactions. When we practice generosity, we become intimate with our grasping. Practicing the discipline of not causing harm, we see our rigidity and the desire to control. Practicing patience helps us train in abiding with the restlessness of our energy and letting things evolve at their own speed. In joyful exertion, we let go of our perfectionism and connect with the living quality of every moment. In meditation is how we train in coming back to being here and now. And in inquiring mind of prajna, wisdom, seeing that things that just as they are is the key to the training, because without prajna paramita or unconditional bodhicitta, the other 5 actions can be used to give us the illusion of gaining ground. So this is talking about the 6 paramitas, the 6 trainings, the 6 ways of compassionate living, as she calls them, are traditional kind of prescribed practices or prescribed ways of living that Buddhism has, and Mahayana, the great way of Buddhism has for us, right? And it's these, generosity, learning how to give, and it's not just giving to give, but it's also the practice of giving. And when we give, we notice what we're so attached to, what we grasp to, right? Discipline, right? Discipline, being consistent, showing up, and seeing that, little by little we advanced along the path. Patience, right? Especially in our society, we're so used to immediate satisfaction, right? You want something, you order it from Amazon, 24 hours later, it's at your doorstep, right? Most things in life that are really worth it take time. They have, I was talking with my friend, and we're both project managers, and we both have to manage schedules, and we're always obsessed about schedules. And, just thinking, shifting that perception. I mean, things take the time that they take, right? We can have a schedule and we can have an expectation, but things will evolve slowly. And as we're patient, we're able to be there now with them, and really enjoy the process as opposed to just continuously driving towards an end. Joyful exertion, right? It's putting forth effort with joy without trying to make it perfect, but enjoying how it evolves and how it's actually manifesting itself. Putting ourselves always with joy, working hard without too many expectations. Meditation, right? Meditation is what we're doing here. We're practicing how to learn how to be here and now and not just let our minds or our desires, or sometimes the desires to somebody else, whether it's like social media. Oh, you want to buy this shirt, you want to buy this thing. Well, that might not be what you want, right? So with meditation, we learn our minds and we learn how to control them, or not control them, but how to stabilize them so that we're not pushed and pulled in every which way. And then finally, the paramita of wisdom, or I like she equates it to bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta is this mind of enlightenment, which is based in 4 roots, the 4 roots of the mind of enlightenment, which is joy, compassion, love, and equanimity, right? So we expand this equally to everybody, our love, our compassion, but also we're joyful in that effort. It's not a somber effort, but it's a joyful effort. Yeah, it's always beautiful. I've always enjoyed the paramitas. I don't know, Harvey, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think you said it very well. I would just wonder if anybody
Questions,
abroad in the
comments,
land.
thoughts? Yeah, please.
So what are you reading? I'm just curious. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's Pema Chodron's Comfortable with Uncertainty. So she's a Buddhist nun that, in the Shambhala tradition from the Kagyu school. So she's put this. She has many teachings, many books, but this is a really neat book because it's kind of just like each chapter is just a page, right? So it's one of those things that you could just read in the morning and it's kind of just inspirational. So yeah, we're just sharing her.
That was very inspirational. I wanted that, but I'm just curious because
Would you mind using our microphone? We have people at a distance that can't hear you.
I'm so sorry.
You're all good.
The reason I'm asking is because I go to these different Buddhist temples, and they all have their own way of practicing. But today was very. I've never been to a Tibetan I guess, worship ceremony or whatever.
Yeah.
But most of the Buddhist temple, it's more of a social gathering. Today was an inward projection, which is very enlightening. And so you mentioned that lady. Is she, I mean, is that reference only to Tibetan Buddhism, or is she from a different form of Buddhism?
Correct me here if I say something wrong, Harvey, but I think, so the paramitas, the six paramitas are Mahayana Buddhism. So it's like the great vehicle, the wide vehicle, which is practiced in initially in northern India. It's like sometimes called the second turning of the teachings by the Buddha, and it's this. And I think some Vietnamese cultures also have it. Some, I mean, you have a variation of different teachings of the Buddha, but so Mahayana is focused on putting others, right? Like realizing that you're suffering, and then when you realize you're suffering, you also realize that everybody else is suffering as well. So you start to make effort to not just help yourself, but help others. I had a teacher called it's the great sucharu of Buddhism. You come to Buddhism because you want to help yourself, and then you realize that you got to help everybody else too. So yeah, I mean, I think in the three pillars of Buddhism, right? Like the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Like the Sangha being the social aspect of any spiritual community. Social events are really important, and I think this might just be conjectures and it's my opinions, and don't take it as anything but that. But we have here in Houston, we have a large Vietnamese community, and in some ways their gatherings for Buddhism is a social event because it's how the community comes together, and that's beautiful in itself. I think as Anglo-Saxon Westerners that enjoy Buddhism sometimes and have been connected to the Tibetan tradition in particular, we gather to practice. We gather to meditate together and to support each other in that practice. I don't know if that answered your question.
Well, to me, it sounds like you're trying to wrap things up, which is great. But let me just re-clarify the question. That particular lady, is she Tibetan from that book?
She's American. She's an American woman.
But she's Tibetan.
But she's practiced in Tibetan Buddhism, right?
Correct.
Yeah. There's 4 major schools of Tibetan Buddhism, and she's a member of the Kagyu school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
I will add to what you said about the introspection. I've been to a few other places, and I think it's unique here that the lamas teach, but then also invite you to share what you've experienced or felt from the teachings, which I think adds to the practice in a different way, because it's good to absorb and try to understand what you're learning. But when somebody asks you, how did that make you feel? How did that sit with you? What was going on with you when you were experiencing what you were hearing? That sort of forces you to practice in a different way almost, or think about it in a different way.
I have other questions, but obviously not pertaining to the book. As I mentioned, I've never been into Tibetan Buddhism. I just do a lot of research, which is very interesting. When you were humming, I've never seen that practice. I was not at a Buddhist place, but I've seen people hum for certain reasons in meditation too, but definitely not in the Buddhist practice. Were you chanting a certain mantra or?
It's just a single syllable. It's a syllable hung, which is related to the sacred syllable of the Buddha's mind, the enlightened mind that we all have. In particular, we chanted, our teacher, Harvey's partner, asked her teacher in Tibet for a simple yet profound practice that we could share with everybody, and that would be impactful for both beginners and seasoned practitioners. And he proposed that we chant the syllable Hong.
You said Hong. Is it like Hong or?
Yep, you got it.
It sounds like, when I was listening, it sounds like Om.
They're very similar, aren't they? But yeah, it's Hung.
Thank you.
And we used to have a little image of it in Tibetan. But it's, I don't claim to be able to write Tibetan script. Anybody, any other thoughts, comments, questions? All right. So, well, we'll do our closing prayers. Since we got a couple of minutes, let's settle down for about a minute, and then we'll do our closing prayers. So just connecting back with your breath, taking a deep breath into your belly, expanding through the lungs, topping off at your collarbones, and letting go. Just allowing the breath to come into your belly. And bringing the mind home, home to your body, home to your breath, home to the present moment. And we'll dedicate our merit, starting here at the bottom. Second stanza to the bottom. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. Continuing with the blessing. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala. And we dedicate our merit to all sentient beings, but in particular today, to Buzz, Health, homeless people, Sylvia, Rolando, Nathaniel, Emma, Noah, Aisha, Juan and Tien, Thomas, Kelly, Emily, Lydia and Daniel, Sean, Liz, Cecilia, Stray Animals, Erica, George, Dennis, Mulberg, Mountain, Bonnie, Klinger, Stephanie, Clergy, Maynell, Hunter, Wells, Westlake, Annie P., victims of oppressions, victims of war, victims of violence. And we'll just do one last chant, Ah. And as we chant Ah, we share light with ourselves first and foremost, from our heart to our heart, from our heart to others in this room, and we receive it from others in this room, and then we just expand it to the city, the country, the planet, the galaxy, the universe. Wherever your imagination may go, let your light go there. Okay, Annie asked, why two hungs in one breath? I actually don't know the answer to that. Harvey, do you have any insights?
That's how it was taught.
That's what we were taught to do. Yeah, different practices doing a little bit differently. I mean, there's other practices that you just continuously do hung over and over again in short sessions. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, Annie, I don't have better insights to you. Yeah, and thank you everybody for sharing your breath this morning with me. That's
I will make
wonderful.
a couple of
Yes,
announcements.
and
This
Emily.
Thursday, we have our new series, Buddhism in 4 Words. The first word will be the word Buddha. So that'll be Thursday at 7 p.m. in person and online. We're just going to talk about Buddha, and it's a great introductory series. Friday through Sunday, we have our retreat, which is Severance Je. If you would like to be a part of this retreat, please apply for Search Cycles or email me, emily@dawnmountain.org, with your questions, and we'll get it all sorted for you. Next Tuesday, we have a special, actually, tomorrow we have Teaching Tuesday, not tomorrow.
2 days from now.
2 days from now, on Tuesday, we have Teaching Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, the 24th, we have another special event, which is how do all the practices fit together? We're going to talk about the practices we teach at Dawn Mountain and how they sort of complement each other and work together. So that's Tuesday, the 24th, 7 p.m. to 8:30, online and in person. And I'll stop the announcements with that.
Just to remind everybody, 2 days from now on Tuesday at 7, we have Teaching Tuesday, and we invite all interested people to come to that. A lot of events coming up.
Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a good rest of your Sunday.
Great to see everybody. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.